I'm very happy to have our next guest joining me, although under circumstances I did not expect and I wish were different. Daniel Tate has been a concerned, active citizen of the city of Toronto for a very long time, and I've been following him when he pops up in the news because he's acquitted himself, I believe, with honor when issues around our history, our values, and how our city is spending our money. He shows up. He gives his deputations. He comes armed with facts. He comes armed with reason, and he oftentimes comes head to head with ideology, and he is pushed back against by city councillors who behave in a way that is beneath the office that they hold. Today, I'm joined by Daniel. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me.
The reason you're here is not a good one. A lot of us know that at Queen's Park, there's a box around the statue of Sir John A., and it has been like that for years. And it's been put there to protect him from activists who would come and desecrate that statue. And you came across that box and had enough.
Yeah, that's right. It's truly shameful and frankly embarrassing as a country that we are basically pandering to these radical activists and cowering to them essentially by boxing up the great founder of our nation. We wouldn't have the freedoms and liberties. We wouldn't be Canadian. There would be no Canada if it wasn't for Sir John A. Macdonald. And the fact that he's been boxed up for 5 years is a true national shame. And, what I did is reflective of millions of Canadians who feel the exact same way.
So what did you do?
Well, as a disillusioned and very concerned Canadian citizen, I went up there one day and I wrote "Free John" on the cheap plywood that's covering the statue.
Yeah. So chances are that if that plywood wasn't there, somebody would have come by with some paint and they would have thrown it on Sir John A. in an act of protest. And I sincerely doubt that in the Toronto that we're living in today, anything would have happened to them. I also would humbly submit that if somebody had written "Free Palestine" on that box, they probably would have been let go. But you wrote "Free John" as in free.
Not even on the statue.
On the box. Free this man who means so much to our identity, to our history, to our culture, to our values. And you are now, what are you facing?
Well, the maximum sentence for mischief under 5K is 2 years in prison. That's the criminal code. So it's now the state versus Tate. That rhymes.
Yeah.
But to your point earlier, that's problem number one, is that people who are going up there, and again, these are radical activists. Yep. They have a warped worldview. They hate Canada. They think it's some, colonial racist state. And they were getting away with this stuff with impunity. And the problem is that emboldens them.
Yeah.
When they realize they can do things without consequences or punishments, they tell their friends, hey, the government's weak. The police are weak. Let's keep doing it. And so that was problem number one, is that when all of this stuff was happening 5 years ago or 4 years ago, and nobody had the spine to basically handle business, now here we are 5 years later, and our great founder is boxed up, but also many other national monuments have been disgraced from coast to coast.
Yeah, or erased, or removed, or demeaned, and or reframed under sort of the social values of today to make them look lesser than they were. And look, again, I don't like when people ascribe motivation to me. Just because I say he's the greatest Canadian, greatest prime minister, in no way discounts the issues that he had in the day. Some of it was shameful behavior. Some of it I wish hadn't happened. But so two things can be true at once. And this idea that with one fell swoop, we cancel people because we don't like how they behave then. Well, good luck being judged by future generations, because every single one of us will come up lacking. What really frustrates me for you, Daniel, is that this is happening to you at the same time as on everybody's social media feed. We see protesters taking over streets, threatening Jews, threatening death to Canada, threatening lighting flags on fire, and nothing happens to them. Certainly not at a level that would deter them.
They get chaperoned by the police.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. This is the environment that we currently live in Canada, and every Canadian needs to do some soul searching and understand what's going on here. This isn't just like two-tiered policing, which it is.
Yeah.
But what is going on behind the scenes where it's appropriate for hate propagandists to choke our city streets every single weekend with police chaperone?
Yeah.
and commit crimes, by the way, because they're defacing, they're vandalizing, they're putting hate speech everywhere. And I know this because I walk the streets of downtown Toronto and I look at the aftermath, and it's disgusting. It's not just anti-Semitism, it's anti-Canadian, it's anti-police. These are grotesque messages, and it's costing us now $20 million, as you alluded to earlier, to just watch these people. And so again, we have a culture of impunity that's hurting the country, hurting our city, and we need to stop.
What's your defense going to be?
In court? Well, I'm just going to say I was following my heart, doing what I thought was right. Frankly, I don't even think it'll hold in court because it was the cheapest plywood you've ever seen. Literally, you could go to Home Hardware and buy that same plywood for $5. And by the way, when they let me out of the security cell in which I was in at Queen's Park, it had already been painted over by the groundskeeper.
You might want to reach out to Bonnie Crombie's office, because I was in this studio with her when Greg Brady was hosting the morning show. I was sitting right there. She was sitting right there. And she said, prior to the election, we need to get Sir John A. out of the box.
Yeah, we'll put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Liberal Party of Ontario might want to help you with your defense.
Well, if, we're elbows up right now, right? Oh, we're all proud, patriotic Canadians. Well, then where are these people who are elbows up when our founding father is being thrown in the mud? His history, legacy is being thrown in the mud. People are equating Sir John A. Macdonald to like Pol Pot or Stalin or Hitler, which is historical revisionism on steroids. Yeah. These people are getting away with it, and we need to hold them to account. Listen, I went to law school years ago. I have no purport to be a lawyer, but I keep the words selective prosecution keep coming up in my head. Like the fact that they would choose to follow this court case to its conclusion and not myriad others that are probably more deserving of the time of the court is shocking to me. This is the wake up call I think a lot of people need to hear and need to see, because if we don't change course, like as you know, we're in an election cycle right now. We're at a crossroads. We're at an inflection point for our country. And so now is the moment. People need to wake up and understand what's going on.
This could have real implications for you. If it goes sideways and if you don't win, your life could be severely altered. If people are listening to this and they really are offended and they empathize with you, is there any way that they can show their support for you?
Well, number one, I have to be at the courthouse today at 2:00 at 10 Armory Street, just near University in Dundas. You can come show your support there. I have no idea what's going to happen. We'll see. And just spread the word, let people know my story that, again, I'm born and raised in this country. I love this country. I've been paying my taxes on time ever since I was 18 years old. I went to university. I've worked hard my whole life in the private sector. And look what's happened to me. I'm now facing the prospect of 2 years in prison for trying to protect the honor of the founder of our country, who, yes, he did a couple gross things. The Chinese head tax, not cool. Okay, we can have that conversation and that context without allowing radicals and other activists to deface our national monuments.
Yeah, well, sadly, it feels to me that there are certain people in positions of power who want exactly that. And it's incumbent upon people like you, people like me, to beat the drum and say, no, that's not right. But Daniel, I want to thank you for coming in. I want to say I'm sorry this is happening to you. I do hope that you get a swift conclusion to your satisfaction on this, because this ain't right, especially when you see what's actually happening on our streets. So I wish you, as they say in French, courage. Thank you very much.
Ben. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is a miscarriage of justice if I've ever seen one, and we've got bigger fish to fry. Actually, this is not even a fish worth frying.